Welcome to the Krista Escamilla Show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Krista Escamilla Show. It is so good to see you. I know I can't really see you, but it's still good to see you if you're watching on YouTube. And it's good to be with you if you're listening to us on Apple, Google Play, Samsung, wherever you listen to your podcast. We thank you. We also want to thank our sponsors. A big thank you to Kevin Foreman of Foreman Financial, Hotel Santa Rita Midland, Rig ID Workwear, Thin FR, Cap Club, and let's see, one more, Midland Cap Company. There we go. Got all the sponsors in. Thank you. We could not have a show without you, so we appreciate you. I'm so excited to introduce you to today's guest. I have known her a very, very long time, and we've been playing catch up here today. It's so good to see her again. Please welcome Maria Elena Duron. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Krista. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
I have so many titles. First and foremost, I always like to say mom and wife. You are an amazing mom and wife.
I am that.
Title.
Those are the proudest titles I have.
Exactly. Yes. Same here. Yes. And so I thought I'd start with that. But you are also a marketing, you would probably say you're a marketer, but I'm going to call you a marketing guru genius. You are you are also a Google trainer.
Yes.
And so much more. But I just cannot wait to dive into your story and hear all the good things that have happened. A little setup story. We used to interview together years ago on TV. She would come on and give us great business tips every week. And I just enjoyed that time so much. We thought, you know what, let's do that again. But now we get to talk as long as we want, not just 3 minutes and then get the wrap, right?
Yes, we do. So this is wonderful. I love what you've done here, and congratulations. Congratulations on such a successful podcast. That's awesome.
Well, thank you so much. I cannot wait to hear your story of how you got to Midland. So go ahead and start at the beginning. Tell us a little bit about yourself and really how you got here.
Sure. I am mom of 3 boys, and I definitely enjoy that title. My husband worked for HEB, and that's what brought us here to Midland. Okay. We actually transferred to Midland, 28 years ago now.
Okay.
I'm an Air Force brat, so I've never lived longer anywhere except for 6 years when we were in San Angelo prior to coming with HEB then. My husband's been with HEB for 44 years. So we had come to San Angelo and stayed there 6 years. I thought that was the longest place I was ever going to live. And then he said Midland. Now understand, I'd only seen Midland from the roadway to go to the airport. So I was like, what is in Midland?
Right.
And they didn't have the store then, of course. It was just breaking ground. So we came over
to open the store.
To open the store. So they were just building. We came here with the initial crew and, the original crew. And back then, it was the Holiday Inn on Highway 80.
Okay,
and we lived in the Holiday Inn for almost 3 months.
That's a long time to be in a hotel with 3 boys and a husband.
Yes. 1 month in, it was like, no, we have got to get a suite. It's just the room thing is not working.
No, I don't blame you.
I remember even the boys starting school. And we were still at the hotel. So my son thought that it was the most amazing thing that we would go to the kettle next door and get breakfast. He's like, I need this kind of breakfast every day.
That's hilarious. Yeah, he didn't like the home life after that. He was like, wait, where's my breakfast like that? Whatever I want, anytime.
Exactly. Here's Mama with oatmeal. That's not fun. What's going on here?
That's funny.
So yes, that was how we first came to Midland and fell in love with Midland. I mean, he was so involved. Renee was so involved with the stock show rodeo of the community. We were both involved with the grand opening of HEB. So if you remember that, the original HEB on Midland and Wadley,
right,
it would actually, we had both bands, back then it was the Lehigh and the Midland High brand, both come. One came through Midkiff, one came through Wadley, and they closed down both those streets to end up at the parking lot of HEB. We had the symphony orchestra bells playing inside the store and ice sculpture as we did the open. And yeah, we were both actively involved in that. It was nice. It was like opening. I remember one of the HEBers in leadership came then and he said, I feel like we're at the opening of Disneyland. And I said, pretty much.
Pretty much is. Yeah. HEB is the Disneyland of Midland. I love that. That should be their new marketing.
It should. It's definitely the meeting place.
Yes.
If you want to see anybody, you'll see them sometime.
Very true. You cannot walk down an aisle of HEB without bumping into someone that you know from school, from work, from your neighborhood. Yes. Exactly. I love that. Well, what a great story. And usually I always ask a fun fact about our guest at the end of the show. But this is going to be a bonus fun fact. You mentioned you were an Air Force brat. We actually grew up or spent a part of part of your childhood and mine in the same place. You were out at Travis Air Force Base.
Yes.
And
yes.
I lived in Vacaville.
Exactly.
And, we kind of spent time both Fairfield and Vacaville.
Yes.
What years were you there?
So, gosh, in Vacaville, I know we got there in 1986.
Okay.
And they were there for almost 20 years.
Okay.
In Vacaville. So it was quite a few
Yeah.
years. We were out in Vacaville because Dad was at Travis Air Force Base at the time, and that's where he retired at. Then he went into private practice.
Yes.
And so we lived in Vacaville. In fact, I think we one fun fact that I know I love is that I think we're both married, aren't we, in the same place? Both?
Yes, in Vacaville.
Yes, in Vacaville.
How crazy
Yes.
is that? That is another fun fact. And another fun fact, my mom taught both of your sisters dance at her dance studio.
She did. So both my sisters made tap, ballet, everything. They're performing arts, and they
Yes.
went on to perform even into college. They went to perform. One sister went on to Broadway.
Yes.
And,
She's amazing. She was in Miss Saigon. She's amazing.
They got all of their skill set and practice with your mom. So they all knew when I first
love that.
mentioned when we were on when I was coming to the TV station, they're like, I know Krista. We used to have her headshot and this. And so I think one of the times we were cleaning through boxes and my sister's like, this is Krista. And I was like,
my
oh my
goodness.
gosh. It was definitely,
That's so funny. I think you sent me a picture of it too.
So wonderful to see that tie in together. And we had never met each other, but we
Right.
always seemed to miss each other.
Exactly. And then we meet in Midland, Texas.
Yes,
I
of all
love that.
places.
Okay, so enough about our fun facts. We just think that it's too funny to not share.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I love that. So I love that that's what brought you here to Midland. But then you chose to stay here in Midland and raise your family here. And
Yes.
and Renee had a wonderful 44 years with HEB
Yes.
until recently. How did you get into marketing? Because that's how when I think of you, I think if you want a business guru or marketing, you need to ask Maria Elena. And so how did you get into that and really hone those skills?
Well, I think I've always been involved in marketing in some format because even as a child, my father laughed because I used to do the things like the Jerry's Telethon muscular dystrophy.
Yes.
So I do the fundraiser in the neighborhood and we'd set up little games in the backyard and I love doing that. Then I sold the Christmas cards to make extra money
Yes.
door to door. So I was always involved somehow in sales and marketing. And then when I graduated from college, I actually went to work for HEB.
Okay.
Met my husband, fell in love with him. We decided one of us needs to get out of retail to be able to raise a family.
That was a good move.
So I did.
Because you work a lot of holidays in retail. Yes.
I do.
Smart move.
You do. And then I went into more marketing training, and really became involved with nonprofit fundraising. So I understand the marketing, all those aspects. And that's what brought me to marketing. And it's been funny because with moving for HEB, and Renee's definitely the one who has the long-term relationship. Sometimes you're working a year a place, 2 years a place, and then now you're uprooted. So you're not the ideal employee candidate. When you look at your resume, you think, okay, this person kind of bounces, even though it's definitely legitimate moves.
Right.
So then when I finally got here to Midland, it was like, you know what, I'm just going to do this on my own if we need to go, because we did not know
Right.
how long we were going to be here. The longest we'd ever been any place was 6 years. Wow. So we didn't realize that, but we fell in love with the Midland community.
I love hearing that.
Because Renee loved it. At the store, the support, the team that he built, all the community involvement. I
Yes.
became involved with the Hispanic Chamber, the United Way, the Midland Chamber. I just became so in love with the community. And then when it was HEB first came up with the idea, they said, hey, Maria, who do you know who needs to be involved with the Feast of Sharing? Because we're thinking about starting that in Midland.
Mm-hmm.
And, he went with me, Greg Flores at the time with HEB, went with me to all the Rotary clubs, and we introduced it. I was active as a Rotarian. We
love
met
that.
with Mayor Cannon and Rick Menchaca back then, who was the city manager and the mayor.
Yes.
And we brought it to Midland, and everyone stepped up. And it became so wonderful that I thought that at that moment, I told Renee, I said, where else can you band together like
Yes.
this? And people, no questions asked, are just like, yeah, where do I need to help?
I
Where do
agree.
I need to be? And they're right there. I said, this is our home. And
Yes.
so we're not going from here. And that is when we made the actual conscious decision. And, it's been wonderful. He's been blessed to be able to have been with HEB so long in one area.
Yes.
And, I'm so grateful for the community. Couldn't be more proud. Midland proud, very. Of
Yes.
course, Permian
Right there
Basin
with
proud.
you.
Sorry.
Right there with you.
But yes, definitely.
Well, and I love that. I love that you chose chose this to be where you're at. I love that, that you recognized early on, because I really have always felt that too, that this is one of the most giving communities I've ever seen. And you've lived a lot of places, being, you said Air Force, you're moving a lot. It is truly one of the most giving. But also, I'm just having this thought, Feast of Sharing wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for you. You helped to facilitate that. That is so cool because, I've gone for many years. I used to MC there a lot. Yes. And it's such a wonderful, wonderful giving back to our great community that happens every year. I love that.
Most definitely. The most fun is being able to see all the volunteers.
Yes.
High-fiving, loving each moment, just enjoying each other and reconnecting. And that's the most beautiful. And it was from the very first one and on forward. And there are some people, Saul Herrera, who've been with the feast since the very beginning. Yes. He came to the table, no questions asked, and said, I'm here. What do you need me to do? And they just planned and created such a wonderful event here.
Yes, for sure. And I'm glad you mentioned Saul. He is such an amazing person. And I can't imagine, he's another person I can't imagine Midland without, And so
definitely.
He is just, the way that he pours into the seniors in our community and gives back. It's amazing. Which I know, I'm going to call you Saul. Saul's on my list. I'm like, I want everybody to sit right here and tell their story. And so anyway, Saul, we're coming for you because he's got a great story to tell. Let's talk a little bit about, speaking of great stories, I want to know how you got to Google, because when I think of Google, I just think of it, it's those people out there in California that they did something amazing, right? Because they make me feel smart. I don't know things, I Google it, right? I'm like, I don't know why I have this cough and headache. Let me go see, which doctors I'm sure hate. But Google has really changed our lives.
It has. It has.
And you are a Google trainer. Yes. And so I know you have so much knowledge to share for businesses, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But first, I want to know how you got to Google.
So I got to Google. It was a referral. Word of mouth. We live by that here in Midland anyway. Yes. And I was lucky because I had been speaking for actually Constant Contact, which is the email marketing company, but that just kind of, freelance speaking for them. So sometimes I would go to San Angelo, the Chamber of Commerce there, the SBDC. I would be heavily involved in doing training there. Well, then I think it was probably, I know it was May 2017 that Constant Contact decided, they're just going to go ahead and do it all from headquarters out in the Boston, Massachusetts area, so they weren't going to need any trainers. And there were, 3,000 trainers, so it's not like we were just a limited group. So we went ahead and we're no longer with them. Well, a group of us had said, well, you know what, let's see if we can all stay together and do something and find something. Well, one great friend of mine, Brian Kaplan, he said...
Hi, Brian.
Yes. He looked at me and he said, would you be opposed to if I could get us an introduction to a company that rhymes with Oogle? I can't tell you what it is. I was like, okay.
That's great.
Not that I couldn't figure that out, but all right. And he did. He made the introduction. Wow. We did, of course, then it was, a video meeting interview, which, that wasn't what people did, but I remember, because I remember telling my husband, okay, Renee, the dog has to be quiet, this has to be going on, I need this light over here, and don't do this, and it was...
Luckily you'd been on TV enough to know these things, right? You know how to set up the stage for it.
Yes, what's in the shot,
what's in the background, make sure there's not too much headroom.
I needed all of that.
And
so he took care of that, and I actually went through a series of almost 7, so I think it was like six, and then one was by phone, but 6 to 7 interviews with Google to see if I could do this and if I would be a good fit for what they were looking for. They were looking for about 15 Google trainers that they wanted to work with that came from grassroots, so they understood what it meant like to juggle all the roles of being a small business, as well as now having to take on all the new learnings and the tools that are available to them free through the platform. So they wanted the actual experience, and they wanted people with at least a decade's worth of experience doing this. So they're really...
And you had that.
Yes, so I had that, and I said, I have that. I can speak. I feel comfortable in front of a group, but I still get nervous like anybody else. I think any great speaker does. They get nervous.
Absolutely. And I always tell people that, because it is the number one fear, right?
Yes.
Is public speaking.
It is.
But I say that's normal to be nervous. I still get nervous. There you go. You said you still get nervous. So
I do.
There's just that little, because every audience is different.
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
And so you don't know how your message will be received by each audience. So I'll get your tips, but I always tell people, you just have to be yourself up there and get up there.
You do.
And pretend And I always say, pretend the camera's your best friend. So we're talking to your best friend right there. And so, you have to find those little tricks that make you feel comfortable.
Most definitely.
But my biggest trick is smile.
You've got to smile.
Got to smile.
And it doesn't matter how scared or how much pressure you
That's right.
feel, or you're trying to remember something, you still have to keep the smile on. So I
Yes.
agree 100%. So for me, then it was after the interview set, they sent me to Houston, and they sent me material, and they said, okay, you're going to do a presentation live, three presentations at a conference in Houston. So it was a big conference.
Wow, that's nerve-wracking for Google.
Yes, for Google. 7,000 people. There were Googlers in the audience.
Fellow Googlers. I'm a Googler. You a Googler? Won't you be a Googler to be a Googler? Was that Dr. Pepper?
Yes.
Sorry. I sing a lot, Maria Elena.
I think it's wonderful that you do. That keeps it light and lively.
I'm glad you do. There's probably people that don't think it's wonderful.
I come from a musical family.
That's right.
It's all
So
good.
you do.
Yes.
You do. You get it. But yes. So there's all these Googlers in the audience.
Yes, in the audience who could tell me if I said it wrong or didn't explain it right. So that was pressure. And then it was the first time they ever streamed from a conference. And I was the first of the 15 that they selected to go out, and they said, okay, you're going to do 3 speeches. You're going to take the stage. It's going to be streamed. And we'll let you know afterwards how we rate you and how you did. So it was definitely stressful. Before I was even able to take the stage, we had to test through and become certified on all the Google products, which I knew them as a user, but not as intimately as I needed to know them from the stage.
Right.
So it was funny because they did say, don't feel like you have to go in depth. If you need help at the end, you can always say, go see Sean at the end, and he'll walk you through all the details.
Were you nervous?
I was very nervous.
I don't blame you.
And I thought, okay, well, here it is, make or break. It's my one shot, and if I don't make it, at least I said I stood on the stage, right?
Yeah, at least I stood on the stage at Google. Yeah.
Yes. So I did it, and I did well, and they were like, no, we just want to make sure you felt comfortable with it, and you felt comfortable with the audience and being there for the audience. And I said, it wasn't a test. I was like, oh my gosh, it felt like a test.
It felt like, I
felt like I went through a huge final exam.
Yeah, that's like the biggest test right there. Oh my goodness.
But it was amazing. So I was the first one. All the other 14 were like, Maria, what was it like? Because we haven't done this yet. And so I got to share the experience with them. They got to watch it online, which was very stressful because, you have other great speakers now, and they're watching you online, and you're thinking you're going to critique me. Oh
right.
My gosh.
But here's another tip. I always say, remember, the audience is for you, not against you.
They are.
They are. And I bet that audience was for you that day.
They are absolutely for you, and they know. I mean, you know more than them. You really do. You don't think you do,
Right.
but you do know.
But if you're talking to somebody about something, you obviously know a lot about that subject, right?
Yes.
And I think that's key to remember. I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yes.
Because I always say also, I'm not going to talk about neuroscience or brain surgery, but I'll talk about public speaking all day, or golf, or things that I'm passionate about all day, or quotes. I love quotes. I'll talk about those all day. But right, so you were talking about what you know.
Exactly.
I love it.
And that's the big thing is I did let them know. And I felt comfortable because they kept telling me, let them know that you are going to speak from your experience, but you don't know everything.
Yes.
And, we can always go into more details later with other Googlers. So I utilized that, but that was my first experience. After going through all of that and living, that's what I remember telling my husband as I was getting on the plane. I said, I lived
through that. That's funny. Because you have to say, what's the worst thing that can happen, right? If you go on that stage and good or bad, as long as you live through it.
I lived and I tried. That's
right.
And
tried your best.
Yeah,
that's
I tried my
right.
best. And I got home and I got the call and they said, we want you to be a Google trainer. And it was wonderful then. I think the first time they sent me out, it was in Solvang, California. Then I went to Pleasanton, then San Francisco. Then I spoke in LA.
Our old stomping grounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was up and down the West Coast, and then they sent me to Florida, and they sent me to into Baltimore. Went to Baltimore, and then we started sending me all around, and it became just wonderful to see all of the businesses light up and realize what they had available to them, but they never knew it or they were paying for it. And that's, and I'm not saying that you can't pay for great services. I'm all for people who create and do things for great services.
Right.
But when you're watching and you're starting and cash flow is king,
yes,
that can be a big decision that you have to make between you being able to get the equipment you need or fund your kid's soccer outfit.
Right.
You know?
And it's usually soccer outfit that's going to go first.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, I love that story. I love how you got there. I can't think of anyone better suited for the job. I can't, because I've seen you MC events or not events, but talk at events.
Yes.
And I've seen how powerful your words are with the audience and how you connect with that audience. And I think you do it really well. So no, really, I mean that. And so when I've, been following you along the past few years, I'm like, this is perfect for her. I can't wait to hear more about it. So I'm glad we're hearing more about it today.
Thank you for asking me.
And we're going to take a quick break. We're going to do our quote of the day. But I cannot wait for you to share with us some business tips. We have a lot of business owners that are watching. I'm sure a lot of us are doing it wrong. I'm sure I am doing some things wrong on Google. I can't wait to share, hear those tips from you because you are the pro. So
thank you.
First, let's do our quote of the day. So you've seen the show before.
Yes.
Let me mix them up. You mix them up, and there's no order to this. You just grab one. Let's see which card you got. And what'd you get?
Giving.
The giving card. I love it. You're so giving. Now tell me about, flip over to the other side. Tell me what the quote says.
Spread love everywhere you go. Mother Teresa. Oh, what a beautiful quote.
Isn't that a great quote? What does that one mean to you?
So to me, this means spreading the love and care of, when you hear people, whatever their definition of success is, and you can help support them when they give you so much to share that kind of, to me, that's a very personal piece of information. Mm-hmm. And when they believe and they respect you and they trust you enough with what it is that their plans or the successes, then when you can do that and you can help them either with advice or just, some direction, that makes a huge difference. So I think giving is one of the greatest things we as human beings have a chance to do. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when we see giving, they think it's just monetary, but you have so much more. Time and energy, knowledge is so much more powerful than any monetary giving, because you can take that, and you can take that and take advantage and learn and teach somebody else. So I think that's really beautiful. It's one of my favorite things.
So appropriate for you, because you've always been so giving of your time and your knowledge and everything to our community, and Renee as well. You guys, that is a perfect card for you. So
thank you.
I just love how this always works out. What Maria Elena, tell me, what is the key to your success? Because I know we all have highs, we all have lows. There's always ups, there's always downs, right? You were a small business owner of yourself, right?
Yes.
Marketing yourself. Yes. What has really helped you and get over that hump and get you to where you are today?
I think for me, it's family and belief. There has been nobody who's been my biggest cheerleader, biggest supporter, and then also having to deal with all the stress that goes with it than my family.
Yes.
My family has definitely been that. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
But they, without them, that's the key to everything. Because there are times when I don't want to say no. There are times when you feel like, well, you personally would give away the farm. It wouldn't be the best decision,
right?
But you'll personally give away the farm. And because I have to look at my family and say, you know what, they've sacrificed too much. I can't do that. They've forced me to be able to be as business-like as I need to be, to be able to honor the gifts that they've given me. So I feel like that has been really the key to that. And then remembering that, every small business, nobody goes into small business thinking, okay, I'm just going to see, if I can fail. They all want it to work. There's a dream. Mm-hmm. There's hopes for their family, for their community, and for the business, all tied with that. And I think not forgetting that makes it key, because then you don't feel like you're just trying to market something. If anything, you're trying to help somebody. And if you both get to win at the same time, that's even better.
Absolutely. I love that. Do you have a favorite quote that you live by, or that you've, just kind of helped you in those situations?
Stephen Covey, his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, one of my favorite books I was a new leader. And it is, remember that people volunteer that which is most precious to them, their hearts and minds. Be it that they're a volunteer or they're even working at a place. They are definitely giving their best and their all, and their trust. And I value that very, very much.
I love that, because that's so true. I always feel like that, with our team members at our store. I feel like, they're choosing to work here. Yes. It's not they have a choice. It's not like I'm making them come, they choose that. So I honor that. I appreciate that, because they choose to work here. And so I really love that quote. That is so good. And really think that a lot of people, we forget that sometimes, but it's a good reminder that it's like they're choosing to be here, and volunteers too, like you said.
Oh yes,
they're volunteering
always.
their time,
Yes.
and they're choosing to pour into that nonprofit. And we'll talk nonprofits later because I know you have a heart for nonprofits as well. But first, we're going to give 3 tips right now.
Yes.
I'm so excited. I can't wait. 3 tips that we can do today that will help us in our business via Google. So what would those 3 tips be?
Okay, so you all have heard of AI, artificial intelligence.
Yes.
It is hot, been around since November 2022 for the public. And what you need to know is that Google search is changing, right?
Okay.
Because Google search is now being powered in some regions, and it's going all across the U.S. by what's known as Google Gemini, which means that's generative search.
Okay.
That is AI influencing search. So how can you as a small business take advantage of that? You have a Google business profile that's 100% free. You may realize it as Google My Business or GMB, it may have been called, or a Google listing. You have that 100% free available to you. Use the Q&As in there, questions and answers.
Okay.
Ask your own questions. Answer your own questions. You're not going to get penalized for that.
So
and
give me
those
an
will be
example.
published.
What do you mean like by ask your own question?
Let's say you have 5 frequently asked questions that
Okay.
people normally ask when they're asking about your industry, your business.
okay.
And let's say, okay, so do you have 3X? Do you have large sizes of the T-shirts at your location? Are you able to do that, or is that a special order? So that could be the question. Then the answer could be, we have that at location. We do everything here in Midland, Texas, and everything is
Yes.
all within our own brand. So we can do that for you immediately. Now you give that question 1 thumbs up. Because
Okay.
you can thumbs up your own question as owner of the business. Now go
Wow.
find 2 other people who have Google, not Google business profiles, but just have a Google account.
Okay.
Gmail, a free personal Gmail account.
That's
is
all
a
it
Google
takes?
account. That's
Okay.
it. 2 more upticks. That then is a signal to the algorithm that can now show up higher in search. So in generative search, it actually pulls the questions and answers from people's Google business profile, as well as your reviews that have photos and videos. So not just the text reviews, but with photos and videos. So
That's
how you
amazing.
can dominate Google search as generative AI rolls out.
That's amazing. So I'm now my wheels are turning. So first, but does everyone have a business profile already on Google, or do you have to go in there and create it?
You may have to create it because if your business, sometimes if somebody is stopped at your place, checked in, or they've left you a review, you may have one, but you're not
Okay.
managing it. So you do have to claim it.
Okay.
You'll go to google.com/business, be signed into the free Google account that you have, that you don't need the paid one.
Okay.
And now you will claim it and verify that you're the business owner.
Okay.
Now, home-based businesses, let me tell you, you do not have to disclose your location. You can have Google Maps suppress that. They may still need it to send a postcard verification to you, so they will send it to you, but it's not going to publish on actual search and maps. The key there is when you get the postcard and you log in the code that is the verification code, just be careful because it'll tempt you with saying, do you want to drop the pin here? Don't
Don't
it.
drop the pin if you're a home-based business. Okay,
Right,
good to know.
exactly,
Good to know.
because then it won't show up. If you drop a pin immediately, then it'll show up. So we don't
Okay.
want that for you. We want to keep your privacy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Okay, so there's your first couple of nuggets, really. Okay, second tip. Tip number 2. What can we do to utilize Google Business?
So with Google Business is post. Anything that you're posting on socials, post that on Google Business profile.
Really?
Every 5 days that you post is a
Writing
signal
this
to
down.
the algorithm. And you want to signal that you're an actual viable business. So some low level, and you may have heard of search engine optimization. I'm not going to get technical.
Right, right.
But low-level search engine optimization that we can
SEO,
do for free,
SEO.
is that you can now have your Google Business profile and connect that to your actual website. So link your website there if you have a website. On your website, have Google Analytics, which is free, measuring how people behave and consume information on your site. And when those tools are connected together, that gives confidence to the algorithm that the information matches, that you're an actual viable business. And because of that, you'll show up more in search. So anytime, if you have a YouTube channel, connect that to it. If you have Google Merchant Center and you're
Wow.
selling products online, connect that. If you have Google Search Console, and all of these things that I'm talking about are free. With Google Search Console, you connect that. It lets you know how the algorithm sees you. Does it have confidence in you, or is there areas you need to work in? So you connect all of those. Each is a ping. letting the
Wow.
algorithm know. And this is, you're not doing anything extra other than connecting them all together and making Google aware that you are confirming all of your business information across all of their
In one
platforms.
spot.
Yes.
Okay. This is amazing. If you're just joining us, I'm sitting here today in Midland, Texas with my friend. I've known her so many years, and she is just amazing marketer. She is a Google trainer, Maria Elena Duron, and she is dropping nuggets today on how you can improve your business and really get more people to see you and find you on Google.
It's important.
What is the third thing? And it's so funny because I have a friend that listens, and she always laughs at me because I always say, Google it, Google it. It's like
noun
one of
and a
my
verb.
favorite. And so, look, I'm talking to like a Google trainer today. This is so exciting. But what's the third thing that we need to know today that's going to help us instantly?
What will help you instantly is know how Google search works. So when I say that, keywords. You've heard
Okay.
people say keywords.
Yes.
Those are the words people use to find things, and they search. And it's not just words. It could be phrases.
Okay.
It could be, how can I straighten a 13-year-old's teeth? So that
Okay.
could be an entire phrase, somebody searching for an orthodontist or an orthodontic surgeon.
Gotcha.
But what you need to do is just go search your business. Just go search it right now in Google. Go to google.com.
Go search your business.
Search your business.
Well, wait till you listen to the podcast
Yeah.
and then go search it.
Search your business. And what will happen is a drop-down menu will appear of similar searches. Those are keywords that in real time people are searching for right now.
Okay.
So if you're wondering what to post about to make sure that you show up on what people are talking about around your
Right.
business or industry, that's one way to do it. The second place to look is in people also ask. So as you look at the search results,
Okay.
about midway through and down the page, it'll say people also ask. That's letting you know what people are actively searching right now in
About your
Google.
business
About
or
your
about
industry.
Google or about your business in
Your
general.
business or your industry. So if you're like with t-shirts, for example, so it could be that they're looking at t-shirts in general or customized t-shirts or personalized branded t-shirts. And now they'll tell you what they're looking for. And then the third place is other searches, other related searches. All those three places are where keywords live that are actively being searched on Google right now. So I see a lot of people, and I'm a fan of all the keyword search term platforms. There's a lot of them, but you pay a lot of money for them. And this is free.
So it's absolutely free.
Yes,
No,
100%.
Is
Just
this
search
different
it.
from Google Trends? Because I've heard you should go look at Google Trends also.
It is different from Google
Okay.
Trends. Okay, I love Google Trends. That's
I
the
do
unsung
too.
hero. Yes.
It isn't. It is. It's a fun
Yes.
little place to go. I know I'm probably like geeking myself out right now, but I go every day to Google Trends to see what's being Googled. And here's a fun fact. Soccer is king on Google Trends.
Yes.
That people
Yes.
they Google soccer or football or they say football more than anything. I mean, I see it come up all the time. Is that true? I mean, I'm talking to a Google expert. Am I right in that? That's just my unprofessional opinion of watching Google Trends. Is that right though?
It is right. And what
it's
you can
crazy.
do with Google Trends is you can look at all of search. You can look at just at YouTube search, what people are searching. But you can get specific and say, okay, in Midland, Texas, in the last 4 hours, what are people searching for? Now, if you're wondering, what do I post about? Because sometimes the hardest part about posting in socials is what are people talking about?
Right.
Because trying to get people to look here when all they're
Hey,
here.
look over here. Look at me. Let me do a tap dance. Let me do a time step. Yeah.
It takes a lot. It does. So this is what's nice is you'll know what they're talking about. Or if you're looking for trends in your industry, maybe you're new to a business or new to the industry, you can go back to, I always laugh, I'll say, the beginning of time when Google first was born on 2004. You can go to 2004 and now you can see what the trends, the hills and valleys are and make your planning around that.
Wow, this is truly amazing. This is great. I am loving this. Again, I might be like, because I am such a Google fan, I might be fangirling right now, but I just feel like there's so many tools there in Google that we don't utilize enough. And so that actually leads me to my next question. What is the most surprising thing that you find that people don't know about Google?
All right. They don't know if you're on your Google business profile or if you're selling online. If you're e-commerce and you do any selling online, you might have Google Merchant Center, which you might use Google Shopping ads.
Okay.
They're at the very top of search where you see the stars and pictures of products.
Right.
That's what Google Shopping is.
Okay.
Well, you can actually use different areas of that for free. So the most surprising thing is Google Lens has been around for a long time.
Yeah, I accidentally push it a lot.
Yes.
What is what?
So
what is Google Lens? I always get scared because I think, oh my gosh, I've pushed something I shouldn't, but like Google Lens pops up and this little, it like pulls something out of Google, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the actual AI graphic search. So what happens, let's say I'm at a business expo and I see a really cool item and I'm wondering who has that locally. Well, I can take a picture of it and now it'll search for the graphics and it'll let me know who has that locally, the price comparison, where I can buy it. Can I buy it in a store or can I buy it online? It will give me all of that information. So if you want to be there for comparative shopping and be seen, you need to be able to use Google Lens and show up there. And you can do that for free.
Oh my goodness.
And I love it because for my sister, for example, she was at a baby shower. So there was an album there. She took a picture of the album and she was able to find out exactly where it was. And at the time I was working with a photographer in Dallas and she had a newborn album that was very pricey. It was very personalized. So she felt like she didn't need to be on Google. And I explained to her, imagine you're at a baby shower and somebody does that. If you don't show up, they don't know you exist. They can't do business with you.
Right.
But at least let them decide, okay, maybe I don't need a $3,000 one, or maybe I do. Maybe I've been wanting to. You know, my family, my friends have been trying to have a baby. This is a momentous moment for them, and I am willing to put out the extra. Let them decide.
Wow.
But don't be hidden. And that's the big thing.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Okay, what is the most frequently asked question about what you do? Like when you go to train someone or you're doing a video, what's the most frequently asked question?
Are you going to sell Google ads? It always is. They think, are you going to sell Google ads? And we absolutely, all the trainers, we cannot sell at all from the stage. Not one thing. We talk about everything that is 100% free and not even a hint of salesy. So no, I will talk about what you can use for free in Google ads, but I will never sell you Google ads.
Okay. Good. That's good to know.
Good to know. Ask, are you here to sell Google ads?
That is so funny. And you're like, no, I'm here to help you. I'm like, just here to help you, give you information. Exactly. That's what we're doing today. And that's, oh my gosh, I am learning so much today. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you, Krista,
you have
for
so much knowledge. I'm wondering, okay, what else do I need to know? So with that said, what else do I need to know about Google? This really is fascinating to me.
So as a business, Google Analytics, definitely connect with that because it lets you know how people shop, you know, and I liken it to if you're in H-E-B and, you know, let's say all day long people come in and they look at aisle 1 and aisle 3 and they don't buy. And then in the afternoon, they go from aisle 1 to 4 to 3. You have questions now. Is it the people in the afternoon? Is there something in aisle 4 that is making them buy?
Are we not stocked up enough on that?
Exactly. And so then when you look at a website, they come to page 1, they come to page 3 and they leave. 1 to 3 leave, but then in the afternoon, 1, 4, 3, and they take a buy action. Could be to download something, watch a video, leave their contact information, or maybe they actually buy if you're an e-commerce store.
Yeah.
Why is that? Google Analytics will teach you and show you that, but not only that, it'll also let you know, are any of the socials that you're using actually helping lift your sales? Or is there one that maybe you're not a fan of? I'm not a Pinterest person, but I see a lot of places where Pinterest does drive the sales.
Really?
So
yes.
Even though my gut, it's not me,
right.
I'm going to look at the numbers. So that's the big thing. Connect the Google tools so it'll help you with your SEO, but then also help you make good business decisions. And also, if you do ads, I'm not selling ads, but if you do
but if you choose to, it's okay.
If you choose to.
Google won't mind.
This helps lower your cost per click.
Okay.
Because each Google tool teaches Google Ads what is the better hit for you, as opposed to trying to learn that by going through your monies.
Wow. I'm just like, all this information, I'm thinking I've got to go tie all my socials to the business now. I mean, I feel like I have a lot of work to do, but this is great information. I just love it. What do you love about your job, Maria Elena?
I love when I can sit across from businesses and I can hear them come afterwards and ask questions and they tell me, Maria, you explained that in such a non-technical way.
Yes.
And how I can apply it. And I said, yeah, because all of this information that I'm sharing with you, you can Google.
Yeah.
You can Google, you can watch YouTube videos, you'll be good to go.
Right.
But how do you do that when you're also balancing your business, you're balancing customers, taking care of family?
Right.
And how do you learn that in cracks of time so you can start applying it? That's what I do. I cut to the chase of here's the 1, 2, 3 on how you can do it and what it gets you and why you would want to do that. And that to me is my favorite, is when I see small businesses empowered and they feel like, oh my gosh, I just made this great decision. When I get the what happens next and the rest of the story,
Yes.
that to me is the best. I love
agree.
doing virtual gift celebrations with them, so we have
love
fun.
that. I love that. That is so exciting. I love that you're passionate about what you do, and you have always been such a good explainer of things.
Thank you.
Really, you have. And, going back to pre-Google, Google was alive. It was after 2004. We started interviewing in 2006, but we didn't even know Google really then.
No.
I mean, we really didn't talk about. But you always explained business tips and marketing tips so clearly, and little things that you could do. And I just, again, why I feel like this is so perfect for you. This avenue that you're in. We do something called Question of the Day.
Oh, sure.
And so we're sitting here today again in Midland, Texas with Maria Elena Duron, and we are talking all things marketing and Google and family, and we're going to do some fun facts in a minute. All right, what question did you get?
Oh,
you got the happy card. She's always smiling. I mean, I'm telling people always say I'm always smiling. You're always smiling too. I love that card for you.
So much to be grateful for. So if they made a movie about your life, what would you choose? Who would you choose to play you? Oh my gosh.
Funny question. I love that.
That's really a tough one. Who would I choose to play me? Who's always happy, but I'm trying to think who's a happy person that would
You could play yourself.
Actually, I mean, this is gonna sound cheesy, but I would ask my sister.
I was thinking your sister too. I was like,
That was
Melinda. Yes, she would be.
my gut.
Yes, I agree 100%.
My gut answer, because she knows me. She knows me inside and out. She has been a wonderful sister, wonderful friend, wonderful aunt. So
I love that.
And I'm pretty darn impressed with her singing voice that I have none. So I would like her singing voice.
Be a musical.
Yes, it would definitely be.
This would be
I
a
would
musical.
love to see what I would be like on a musical. So go for it.
I love that. All right, producers, go produce a movie right now. I would watch it. I'd be the first ticket buyer. So I love that. I love that question for you. Well, now we start to talk about just some fun questions, because I know that the fact that you and Renee chose to raise your family here in Midland, Texas, I want to hear all the fun things that you love about it. So we'll start with restaurant. What's your favorite restaurant?
My favorite restaurant is Gerardo's.
Oh, it's so good.
Jerry.
Yes, it is so good.
Yes,
it
I
is.
do love that.
It kind of makes me want to have a chili relleno right now. I mean, really, I'm also hungry, but still.
Tex-Mex, there's nothing like Tex-Mex anywhere else.
Yes.
So it's and definitely here. So
Awesome. Great shout out. Favorite grocery store?
H-E-B.
That was an easy one.
Sorry, you won't find me anywhere else. Doesn't matter if the shelves are empty or the lines are long or anything else. I'll be there, even though I know it means that I'll probably be there for 2 hours because I'll see everybody. But yes, I'll be there.
It's so true. It's so true. It's one of those things. If you're trying to run in incognito, and you got the baseball cap on, you're trying to avoid. You don't even do it. You'll run into 20 people that you know.
Guaranteed.
But that's a good thing. That's what I love about West Texas.
Yes,
I really do. Favorite coffee shop?
Gosh, my favorite coffee shop is, and now I can't remember the name of it now that I've been asked, but
That's okay. Give me some hints and
Is it Far West?
Yeah, Far West.
Far West, yes.
Yeah, off Cuthbert?
Yes,
right? Okay.
yes.
Yes, Far West. Yes. We need to have the owners of Far West on the show. They get so many coffee shop shout outs. So there's my little invitation to
Perfect. I would love to hear them here.
Because they really do. It has a cool vibe when you walk in, and it just really, and plus the coffee is great. But talk about seeing people it's also a wonderful place to see friends and families, and they utilize that space. So
they do, and they explain. Okay, this is this, and we blended this. I mean, for me, as somebody who loves to educate and explain, I'm like, oh, you guys are good at this. I'll go to you for coffee factoids.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's a great question. Why? We'll get back to the other fun questions. But what is it that you think makes a good business?
I think a good business is somebody who is willing to make hard decisions, because you do have to have dreams, but you also have to be able to look at your numbers and make some hard decisions. And they're not easy. I don't care how little they may seem. Nope. They are not easy. And being able to make those, be decisive. If you're on the fence, that's a more painful place to be.
Yes. Oh, that's so good. When you watch Shark Tank, they always say, know your numbers.
Yes.
And they are so right. When you know your numbers, you really can see your business more clearly.
Yes, you can.
And so
most definitely.
I love that you said that. Okay, favorite, favorite movie.
My favorite movie? Well, I'm a Star Wars geek.
Me too.
From original Star Wars, though, back in the 70s.
No wonder why we're kindred spirits. Yeah, the original. We're talking A New Hope, Star Wars A New Hope, episode 1.
Yes.
Or 3, if you're getting technical.
Yes,
it was episode, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry.
Yes.
It's episode 4 if you're getting technical. But yeah, I'm right there with you.
I grew up in Star Wars lines. So, yes.
Yes. Yeah. Back when you, at I mean, literally in California or wherever you were at, I'm sure, the lines were wrapped around the building for Star Wars. It was crazy.
Most definitely. I remember picking up Melinda from school. In fact, I was like, get in, the new Star Wars is out. I think it was the last one. So it was Return of the Jedi. And I said, all right, get in, we're going now. And we just went.
I love that you say it's the last one, because in our era, like 4, 5, and 6.
True. That's
all right. That was what we heard was the last one. But there's this rumor that there's going to be 1, 2, and 3, and then 7, 8, 9. And the rumors came true.
I know.
How
Who
crazy
knew?
is that?
Who
knew? Not all rumors are wrong. I love that. I love that for you. Okay. Favorite book?
My favorite book is definitely The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Yes.
I just really took that in the heart of, sharpen the saw, seek first to understand, then to be understood. All of those, I know it can get a little bit technical, but I love getting a little experiential knowledge and rereading it, because it does sing something different to me each time.
Yes, and as you grow as a business owner or business,
yes,
you're right. Every time you read it, something else grabs you and it hits you a different way.
It does.
I love that. Favorite life hack?
Oh gosh, it's journaling. It really is.
I love that.
Journaling. So what I like to do at the end of every day is to journal and to refocus. And one of the things that I do is it's called the 5 daily gratitudes. And I do this because I think a lot of times we only want to journal or recognize those amazing things. I spoke on a stage to 7,000 people. Well, that's pretty amazing. How about I woke up today and I had coffee with my family?
Yes,
that's something
that's
definitely
amazing
to be amazing. And yes, be grateful for. What else am I grateful for? I'm grateful that I had heat today and internet, because sometimes I am going through, where's my backup and because I have all sorts of backups since I have to broadcast. So all of that, I love to just focus, because I do believe that when you focus on it, you recognize, not that you may not really get more, but you recognize more things to be grateful for.
Yes.
And because you're more aware, it just puts you in a much better place. And I feel like I deliver the best version of me to my family and to people I work with. So yes.
I love that. So that's how you end your day. What does your morning routine look like? What is your favorite thing about your morning routine?
My morning routine, unfortunately, is way too much like other people. I know in my mind, don't look at the phone, leave it alone. The first thing I look at, because my alarm is the phone. So then I look at the phone, I start reading notifications. I'm like, I'm not supposed to, but I want to. What was I just saw?
I'm right there with you. How do we break that? I did hear someone recently say they put their phone in the kitchen at night. I just don't know if I could have it that far from me. What if a kid needs calls in the middle of the night, right?
Yes. Having 3 boys outside of the house, I'm definitely, what if they do? So yeah, I will always, it's going to be there. I don't know that I have enough self-discipline. So my routine is not that different, but I do when my son's in town and his girlfriend, who is going to be soon his fiance.
Oh, exciting.
When they're in town.
Oh, wait, we didn't just break the news, did we? Wait, has he asked yet?
He's asked. He's not asked her parents, so nobody said.
No one said. I think this will probably be released after that, hopefully.
I hope so. He's got to work fast. But it's funny because she does slow pour coffee. And I love that, because she hand grinds and does slow pour coffee. And so
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's
slow
really,
pour
it's a much, it doesn't have, it's not as bitter to me.
Okay.
Because of the heat. And she does and mixes all these flavors. So her best place, the place she loves to go a lot of times, she brings a lot of things from a lot of different places. But when she's in West Texas, we head to San Angelo to Eggemeyer's, and she's getting coffee there.
Wow. That's great. I've never heard of that, the slow pour coffee.
Yes.
I'm going to have to Google it. Learn more about it. I love that. Okay, favorite fun fact about you. We've shared a lot of fun facts, but those were more like connecting us fun facts. What are some fun facts about you that we wouldn't know just by reading your bio?
I think that I play piano.
I did not know that.
All of us had to have some sort of performance level growing up.
I love your parents. I think that's great.
We had to live that for them, and I loved it. I love that I have that skill set, because I do it for relaxation.
I love that.
And so we do have a piano, and I do love to play it just for that relaxation, fun sing-alongs, and the kids grew up with that, and I do love that. So that's a fun fact.
Okay, last favorite question. Actually, second to the last. First of all, favorite nonprofit.
Ooh, favorite nonprofit. I would say it's going to be. I've got so many favorites here in Midland. It's hard to say one.
I know, I'm with you.
But
It's
I'm going to
tough.
say Helping Hands.
Okay.
Because I love what they do.
Mm-hmm.
I love the activity and the birth of them from the church. So I'm a big fan
Yes.
of now. I mean, he's Monsignor Bridges, Father Bridges. I am a huge fan.
I am too. I love Monsignor Bridges.
He did
Yes.
so much for our family in our growth and development as as a couple, as parents, and then my boys as adults. And I'd say, because I knew he's the one who started that,
Yes.
Helping Hands would have to be my top one, even though I have many.
I love that. I love that. Okay, and favorite, did I already ask favorite memory in Midland? Not yet. Favorite memory in Midland.
I think favorite memory in Midland was that moment. I did share it, though, was when the two bands came through.
Oh, the
And
HEB moment.
HEB, yes.
The HEB grand opening.
Yes, yes.
I love that.
Yes, because it was very much a wonderful reception. So when we first went to San Angelo, nobody knew what HEB was. So there was a very negative reception because they had bad experiences with grocery stores. So here in Midland, it was like everybody was like open arms and excited and wanted to learn about the company. And that just blew me away. And then to see all the community and the band students, which I love band. So I'm like, okay, this is just amazing. I get everything that I want right here at the opening. So it's
What
one
a
of my
special
favorite
day.
memories.
I think they should do a grant. Okay, HEB, if you're listening, I think you should do a grand celebration reenacting that moment and have the bands coming down. Because how many years have they been? It's been 40, how many years here in Midland has it been?
They've been here 28 years. here in
28
Midland.
years. Okay, so for the 30th anniversary.
There you go. Perfect.
Sorry, that's just the marketer in me. I'm like, this is great. Let's do a
Perfect.
celebration. I think it'd be fantastic and reenact that moment.
I would love that.
That would
That'd
be
awesome.
fun. Well, Maria Elena, this has been so amazing. I don't want our time to end, but I want to make sure that we have talked about everything you want to talk about. So I always ask at the end of the podcast, is there anything coming into today that you haven't gotten to share yet? It could be about your story. It could be about Google. It could be a tip that you're like, oh, I really wanted the audience to learn this today. Is there anything we've missed?
I think the only thing I'd want is that, Midlanders and Midland organizations, if you want me to, for 100% free, come train your businesses, your membership on Google, I would love to. There's so many local organizations, agencies too. I'd love to give them a shout out, especially if they're Google partners. So understand, I'm not selling Google ads. I really am. This has been the hardest part because I see a lot of the other trainers, and as there were there's 15 originally. There's only 7 now. There's only 7 of us
Okay.
nationwide. But they'll do all things in their local community. They'll help out, the Chamber of Commerce
Right.
and the SBDCs in their local community. And I'm like, I think my local community doesn't know that I'm here.
Well,
and
I think someone even put that on one of your posts maybe recently, said, like, I didn't know you were here in Midland, right? Am I right in that?
Yes.
I thought I read that. But I think that is key. Like you help people all over the country, right?
Yes.
You can help them here in Midland too.
I would love to. So you're going to see me at more networking events, actually. I realize
Awesome.
that I've been so involved with Google that I've been out throughout the country, but I haven't been here networking at home. And I have such a wonderful, group of friends and then
do.
people that I just have not even met yet that I want to meet. So
I love that because you are so good at what you do, and we would love your help. I mean, that is one of those things where I want to soak up every ounce of information you can give, because anything that and that's the goal of our podcast is we want to help everyone live their best life and add value to your life. And so the tips you have given today, I think, are definitely going to do that. And so I look forward to you continuing to do that here locally with other businesses. I think that's fantastic. How can they find you on social media?
they can find me on socials, either Instagram, it's getfound.growth. So getfound.growth.
Yes.
I'm on Twitter or X at Maria Duron, Duron.
Yes.
And those are the 2 places you can find me. I have a YouTube channel as well where I do post webinars that I do.
Oh,
the
great.
recordings of those. So you're welcome to those. I update those regularly. And that's really just, connect with me, DM me, let me know what questions you have. I'm happy to help. I would much rather that I was able to help you with an answer to a question than you spent money
Right.
to do it when, I want you to be able to make those good business decisions.
Thank you so much. I have loved our time together. This has been
Thank you,
great
Krista.
and
I have too.
so much fun. And I truly believe that you are meant to do this. This is, you are utilizing your gifts so beautifully. And I think that is, everything prepared you to get to where you are. And you're right where you're supposed supposed to be. So I love that you shared your story with us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Krista.
And please follow her today and reach out if you're a business owner. I also want to tell everyone thank you so much for subscribing to the Krista Escamilla Show on YouTube. And if you haven't, go ahead and click that little button right there. It's right somewhere down there. Subscribe. We love being connected to you. It's our way of, I like to know who's listening, who's watching, because I want to make sure that we're having guests here that can bring value to your life, just like Maria Elena Duron did today. So thank you so much. And thank you to our sponsors. We want to thank Kevin Foreman Financial, also Hotel Santa Rita, Midland. Thank you so much. Rig ID Workwear, Midland Cap Company, ThinFR, and JoinCapClub.com. As you always hear me say, support local however you can, but please just support local, because we're all in this together, and what a great community we have. Midland, Odessa, Monahans, Big Spring, Andrews, and all the surrounding towns. We are all here to support each other, so support however you can by shopping local. That's it for today. Thank you so much. Don't forget my mottos: dream big, believe, and never give up. We'll see you next time. You make it a great day.